There we go. And we're going to take a look at the rubric. And we're going to make sure that we've incorporated our world-class outcomes. And we're going to kind of give ourselves a score for what we have so far. So let's just review our world-class outcomes. Remember, one of them was more opinion-based and one of them was more factual. So looking at other people's views on issues around the world to make your own point of view, which we've been doing quite a bit of. We have our own viewpoint on space exploration funding. And in our speech, we're going to have to mention the other viewpoint, even though we believe that they are wrong. And then using a lot of data and facts to support our claims. So without further ado, let's jump into our speech. And you can see I have two screens up here. I have your speech in front of you, and then I have the rubric that you're going to be graded on the right-hand side. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read the speech out loud to you. So I want you to listen to what it sounds like so far. And then we're going to go through each one of these categories and take a look and see what we would score ourselves. Are we ready? Okay, so I'm just going to read it for you. So imagine I'm giving this speech like at a town hall or something. The most important way to spend government funds is by continuing space exploration. We think everybody should pay for space exploration because it is so important. And that is why we think there should be more taxes to pay for space exploration. If every American paid just a few extra dollars, we would have so much more money to spend on space exploration. We notice how important space exploration is because of all these amazing inventions it has contributed to. When people explore new places, they almost always invent new technologies. The first humans invented the wheel. Less than 50 years ago, the first people traveled to the moon. To get to the moon, they had to invent smaller computers. Imagine what the world would be if men had not explored the moon. Computers would probably be much bigger, and we might not even have cell phones. Voters and community members, we are in need of more funding for continuing space exploration. In providing us with more funding, we will have access to more discoveries and studying planets. This helps us to learn more about Earth and the other planets that have not been yet discovered. By your support for funding, this will help the astronauts and scientists. This will also help create new technology, faster weather signals. It will create rovers to study other planets that are out of our reach. And having more funding for space exploration also helps give better technology to give us warning about meteors and comets. It is important that everyone tries to help with supporting space exploration. Recently, we rescued a group of astronauts and we learned so many new things like teamwork and that we must work together to accomplish things. Okay, what do you guys think so far?
Sounds good.
I think it sounds pretty good. For our first real try at this, gosh, I thought I had left a comment on here earlier, but I noticed a couple times where it seemed maybe like a little awkward, and that we can do a little bit of rewording to make it sound a little better. And then I also noticed that we kind of mixed together one of the reasons. Here we start talking about exploring other planets, and then we go back to talking about technology. And we had talked about technology in this paragraph. So I think one thing I'm going to do to help you is I'm going to move that little piece that we talk about technology into the correct paragraph. Okay?
Oh, by the way, Miss Bruns,
Yes?
I did take a little bit of the sentences from the old draft and put it on my new draft, so
Okay. And what you're going to do with your new draft, Adam, is you're going to cut and paste what you want to put in here onto.
like I did with the old one.
Uh-huh. Yep. You're going to cut and paste it onto this document so that we have everybody's work all in one place.
Okay.
Okay? So
Okay.
let's look at organization and think about what our group would get so far. All right, so the introduction is inviting and it states the position and provides an overview. Um, what do you think about our introduction? Do you think it's inviting or very interesting?
Um, doesn't really look.
I think it's interesting.
Okay,
I
well,
think it's interesting. It's interesting, but it just is not very inviting, really. Yeah.
yeah, it could probably be a little bit better. And here's one way to make an introduction really stand out. And I'm going to put it in the comment section. Oh, here we go. I actually did comment on this, and I don't know why they're not showing up. Um, okay, for the introduction, um, asking a thought provoking how do I spell provoking? Oh, yeah, okay. Question, um, or stating part of a personal story will capture attention. Okay, so that is one way that we can make our introduction maybe a little bit more interesting. Then, do we have information in logical order? Well, I just kind of helped you with the logical order, and I moved that piece about technology into the correct paragraph, so that all of our paragraphs have to do with just one topic or one reason. Okay, thumbs up so far if that's making sense. Okay. And then, does our conclusion strongly state a personal opinion? Let's look at our conclusion. Not yet, actually. We need our personal opinion, like the very last thing that somebody is going to remember. So we need, and I'm going to make a comment, we need to add a personal opinion statement to our conclusion. Okay? All right. Okay, so you can see my comments popping up here on the document so that you won't forget what we're talking about later. And then reasons for support. We need, if we want a score of a 4, we need at least 3 reasons. So far, I think we have 2 reasons. Our first reason is we have a lot of extra technology because of space exploration. And our second reason is um, we've been able to study other planets. We need maybe one more reason. So let me add that. One more reason to spend funds on space exploration would make this stronger. Right now, I'm looking at category, or I'm looking at a score of 3, and so far your group is getting a 3 because you have 2 reasons. Okay, does that make sense so far? I'm going kind of fast. Yeah.
Yep, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Grammar, mechanics, and spelling. Well, I can tell there's no spelling errors because nothing's underlined in red. So there's no spelling errors. But remember how I said it kind of sounded awkward at times? We can make it sound maybe a little bit better. In this first paragraph, we said space exploration like 50 times. So maybe we can make it sound a little better. We think everybody should pay for space. Not pay. Should vote in favor of. That sounds better. Space exploration because it is so important. That is why we don't need to tell people that is why. They know. Okay, so let's just leave it with there should be more taxes to not pay, but maybe to fund um, this important.
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah, Yeah. I'm trying to think of another way to say it without saying space exploration 50 times, but maybe we can change it here in a minute. Okay. If every American paid just a.
You could use pronouns to not say.
Go ahead, say that again. Sorry.
You could use pronouns to replace space exploration.
That's right. So the pronoun for space exploration would be it. I don't know if that
Right.
sounds a whole lot better, but we can maybe we'll see. If every American
Yeah.
paid just a few extra dollars, then we would have so much more money to spend on space exploration. Yeah, okay. We notice how important, hmm, not we, how about, remember, this is a speech. So you should notice how important space exploration is because now we have more than one reason. So we need to in our introduction list both reasons. And eventually if we have 3, we're going to have to list all 3 reasons because it contributes to new technologies and further um, planetary discoveries. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
I think it sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
So I just totally helped you with this one right here. Now, I didn't do this entire thing for you, so you need to go and make sure that it all sounds good, not just this first paragraph. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Now, world-class outcomes. Um, both of them are clear in the product. Well, we do have facts. Do we have any opinions? Let's kind of look. I think we do. I think we both, both are represented. But
Yeah.
multiple views are acknowledged. We did not talk about the other side. We need to talk about the people who do not want to spend money on space exploration and why they are wrong. If you want to get a 4. So I'm going to put that. They are wrong. Okay? Right now, I think your group would get more of that 3 range because you got some world class outcome and it's evident, and you have some data to support it, and you have some opinions, but you have not mentioned the other side of the issue and why they are wrong. Because there's probably people out there in the audience who would be listening to this speech, and they're on the other side of the issue. They need to know why what they believe is wrong. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to call anybody out on your individual efforts, but I want you to spend a minute and I want you to read these different categories on the bottom here. This is a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. What would you get today? And I want you to send me a private message of what you think you would get.
Can you make it that a little bigger? I can't see it.
Sure. Let's make it 150. Okay. Let's see. Is that better?
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, so send me a message. What would you personally score in the individual efforts? Corbin, I just sent you a text, or not a text message, a chat message. So go ahead and read that. Corbin, are you working on the speech or the letter? Because I thought you were the letter. Okay, well, I recorded the letter group. This is the speech group. You can stay if you want, or you can watch the recording when I have it up. Okay? Okay. I would agree with that, Adam. Tyler, what would you score yourself? The letter group was at 9:30. All right. Okay. So all of us have our individual thoughts on what you think you would get. And so that part is going to be a little different for everybody. And yeah, and
I just sent you mine.
I saw it, Tristan, and I would agree. Definitely doing well. But here is the way that we can fix some of these other categories that we started off with. Let me give you, so Tyler, okay, Tyler, you went ahead and sent that to everybody, but that's okay. Let's just make sure that you get your part in here. All right, so I commented on the speech, ways to improve it and make the speech a 4 category all the way across. So let me just review what I suggested. In the introduction, I think asking a thought provoking question or stating part of a personal story, so maybe our story with the astronauts that we just saved, would capture more attention. Right now, our introduction, it's okay, but it's not.
Not too interesting.
It's not too interesting. So that's one way to beef it up. So if you're
Because,
thinking to yourself, how
here's a
can I?
problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if you're writing a story and you make, like, a really, weird title, nobody's really going to want to read it because it doesn't really make sense.
That's
And
very
it doesn't sound too interesting either.
right. Okay. And another way to get a higher score for the entire group is to mention the other side. And now, if you're thinking to yourself, where am I going to find, the other side of the issue and what they believe and whatever? Well, I've linked the resource bank back on there for you. So you have a ton of choices to go through. All of these are, of course, in favor of continuing space exploration, and all of these are against it. So if you're going to mention the other side, here's where you would start. But make sure you would tell the people in your audience why they are wrong. Okay? Nicely tell them why they are wrong. But all of you are in favor of space exploration. But it's still important to acknowledge that people don't always agree. Okay. Then another way to get a better score is to add a personal opinion statement to our conclusion. So you need to wrap it up with this is what you're going to do, voters. You are going to vote in favor of space exploration because, and make it strong. Also, so far, we've talked about we have 2 reasons to continue space exploration. We have all of the new technology, and then we also have that we're able to study more planets. If you want to get a score of a 4, you're going to have to add one more reason. And again, you might be thinking, where am I going to find another reason back in that resource bank? You've got a ton of different ones to choose from. Okay? So, are there any questions on what you need to do and contribute to your group for Thursday?
No.
Okay. So on
Um,
Thursday,
Nope.
okay. On Thursday, we are going to present our product to the other groups. Okay. And then on Thursday, I'm not going to grade you in front of everybody, but that will be your final presentation, and then you'll get your score, your rubric after we're all done. So, are there any other questions before I let you go and get started?
Miss Bruns, can I read my letter?
Well, here's what I'd like you to do, Adam. I would like you to cut and paste what you have and put it into this letter that we're looking at on this, or speech, I should say, that we're looking at on the screen, and then I will comment on it. How does that sound?
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, well, happy Monday, speech group, and I will see you all Thursday at 9:30.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
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 All right, I'm going to
Bye.
go ahead and end the session so that I can start a new session. So, Claire, I'm going to end it, and then I'm going to start a new session for the play, okay? So you're going to,
Okay.
I'm going to end the meeting, and I'll